This is a definite sign that you've got a suspension problem. You've got a misalignment or an issue that you're going to need the suspension looked at for, okay? Should be even on the inside and the outside. You shouldn't see any nails. Another good thing, how many times have you checked your tires? Almost never. I have numerous times found nails and various different debris and punctures that would have stranded me on the highway because I did this simple tire check. Look at the front, crank your wheel all the way, look at the front, crank it the other way, look at the front of the other tire, roll the car forward 2 or 3 feet, and then do it again. All the way to the left, all the way to the right. Now you've looked at both sides of the tires. You haven't got down, you haven't laid on the ground, all you had to do is just bend over, right? And it's even a better idea if you have the glove on, run your hand along the tire. You sometimes can feel anomalies that you can't see. And if you feel anything uneven, that's a sure sign you've got something wrong. Any kind of patchiness, wear that's not even, you got a balance issue. Go to Walmart, costs $8 to get them balanced. Don't go to the mechanic, $90 for an $8 service. Walmart, 16-year-old, balance your tire, no problem. If you get any kind of wear on one side, suspension issue. If you've got lots of wear on the outside and the center is good, this would be my friend with the wrong, or actually no, not her, she said overinflated. You've got your tires underinflated, okay? And it's nice and soft and comfy, rides like a Cadillac, but you're probably losing a good 10 miles to the gallon in fuel economy, and it's definitely going to be costing you money. Your situation would be like this, Kathy. With the 42 pounds, you would find that this is wearing out, the sides look perfect. Because when you fill it up too much, the tire balls like this, and now you're riding on the center of the tire instead of the whole flat surface. So there's some checks that you can look for.
What was that last one?
I'm sorry, the last one. Oh yeah, if you see any, again, you'll feel this one when you run your hand around it. If you feel any wear that's kind of in a line pattern laterally across the tire, this is one that's telling you that your ball joints have got a problem or possibly other suspension parts. Okay, so again, it's a tip. These are the tips that are going to tell you something's wrong. So at least now you're going in with more knowledge, right? If you go in and tell them, yeah, I've got some uneven wear on my tires, I'm pretty sure there's a suspension issue. Well, now all of a sudden they're like, okay, this woman knows what she's talking about. We're not going to try and fudge her, right? All you want to do is narrow them into a corner to limit what they can pull over your eyes. And the other good thing about this is, the more you do this, the more you start catching places doing this to you. You start eliminating them and not going to them. You'll whittle your way down to, a hopefully reasonable mechanic that will treat you a little better. Yes, ma'am.
You did mention that suspension issues is when one side, like the
yep, the inside and the outside are worn.
Okay, that as well, right.
Yeah.
As the last one would be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
2 different ones. One is camber and one is toe-in. So yeah, two different issues. But again, that's an entire lecture in the car course. So I don't think we'll go into that today.
Okay.
Yeah, they told me I had like about 12, 15 at the very most. They said I could go to 12, 15 at the very most. I got about 3-4 minutes. Thanks, man. No problem.
Okay, one last thing on
Sure.
tires. So how do you know when, like the wear? Like I've heard.
Oh yes, I forgot to put that slide in. It occurred to me the other day. I went, oh yeah, I got to put that slide in. You got a dime in your pocket?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, you got the blue nose on the front.
Yeah.
Stick it in the slots of the tire. If it's not touching or actually covering the top of the sails, you're down to the point where you need to change your tires. If you don't have a dime, if you're really poor like me, you work all year and you go in your pocket and it's like, yeah, I got like a penny, right? I got a nickel. Then all you're gonna do is when you look at that tire, when you look at the front, the whole face, around the edge of the tire, they have what's called wear bars, right in the middle. If you're down to the point where the wear bars are even with the top of the tread, then you should be changing them. Even when you're getting close, especially if in rain, this would be more of an issue, or worse, if you're gonna intend to try and drive those tires in the winter, if you're down close to the wear bars, you are not gonna be able to drive in much snow. Okay, so that's your indicator. But if you're not sure what the wear bars are, what they look like, then grab the dime, right? It should cover the top of the sails on a Canadian dime. If it doesn't, you're down to too low a tire and it's time to go. In the 3 to 5 year range is how long you should get out of a set of tires.
Cover the sails.
Put the dime in upside down. Yeah, so the tip of the sail of the blue nose should be covered. All right.
We're talking about 2 millimeters.
You should have in the range. That's very good. I would say you should be looking for at least 3 mils of tread. Anything less, you're at the point where you should wear them. You should replace them. If you put the dime in and it's not even covering those little bumps around the outside, you're in big trouble. Don't go racing on the track with those, okay? Well, actually, if racing slicks, they probably would be okay, but not for any kind of weather. All right, so buying a car. We're down to very few little bit of time left. We can discuss this more in the parking lot. A couple of quick things. Number one, Auto Trader, and set the alerts. You want to start looking at prices months before you want to buy the car. Months and months and months, a year ahead probably. Get the alerts and keep looking at all the different models. This will give you a large pool of one model to look at, and you hopefully have narrowed it down to 1 or 2 or 3 models. But you want to look at a lot of examples of exactly what you want to be able to compare apples to apples. Make sure they're the same engine size, the same options. But now you're going to be able to see 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 cars. Keep watching the prices. Hey, they're starting to dip. That same car with the same mileage 6 months ago was like $10,000, and now they're $80,000. Now you can identify a deal, okay? Or when you see your particular model, yeah, they're mostly around $8,500 the last 6 months. Hey, I just looked at one, they're only about $7,000, and it's got a couple extra options. Now you're a more savvy buyer, having the knowledge of what's been going on with that model in the last year. So it was very handy for that. Autoblog.com in the US, every single car in that model for sale across multiple different websites. If you happen to look for a Toyota Camry, you'll probably come up with about 9,000 examples if you look across the entire US. But that'll give you lots of choice to get an average. Add up 30 or 40 of them and divide by 30 or 40 and get an average price for the exact car and model you want. Always, 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 if you're buying a car, get a PPI, a pre-purchase inspection.
You're talking about used cars.
Used cars, yes. That's where you go to Auto Trader. If you're going to the dealership for a brand new car, you're paying way too much for your car. Do not buy a brand new car, never on credit. Save up your money, go get a car that's 2 to 3 years old that still has warranty. You're gonna A, not pay the 20 to 30 to 40% of depreciation, let somebody else pay that, and you get a car for, closer to half price. In 2 or 3 years, it's barely broken in. I bought my Mustang, it had 50,000 kilometers on it. I paid $12,000 for a $29,000 car. What's wrong with that, right? I had this old guy that drove it back and forth to church for 4 years, 50K, and you're getting a huge savings for...
But that's why you need to have an inspection, right?
That's why. If it's used, you want to find out, is there major engine issues?
But then you need to trust your mechanic.
This comes back to the, keep eliminating the guys that are screwing you around by, narrowing their choices with the knowledge, and hopefully you'll find a good one over time. It may take a while, but that way at least you'll know, are they ripping me off? Yeah, they tried to tell me my brake job was 7 hours labor, and yet at all data it said 1.5 hours. Never seeing you again, thanks very much, buddy. So hopefully you get down to a good mechanic, and then you definitely... Now luckily on a PPI, there's not much value in them trying to tell you there's a bunch of stuff wrong with it, unless there really is, because if they tell you there's something wrong with it, you're probably not going to buy it, and they ain't getting to work. So this is one time where they often will give you a more honest answer on things, right? If they say it's really, really good, are you going to come back to him for a lot of service when it starts having all kinds of failures? Not bloody likely. So it'll usually get you a fairly honest opinion. And yes, you need to be prepared to pay that $200 and walk away from that car if it's a letter. And I was going to say, if you ask an owner, okay, I definitely want to buy your car, I'm very interested, I've got cash, can we do a pre-purchase inspection? Oh, absolutely not, I'm not letting my car go anywhere. Thank you very much, see you later. Why would they want to hide something? We do this all the time in the sports car world, the high-end cars. You absolutely run the other direction from a Maserati, Ferrari, Lamborghini if they will not let you inspect it. You could be talking 20, 30, 40,000 in repairs.
Carfax told me the car was perfect condition, but it was actually not.
Quick point of that, we'll talk about Carfax and car proof out in the parking lot, some very important information on that. 2 last little things. Number 1, if you happen to like my presentation, there's 2 things you might be interested in hearing about. Number 1, I have my book on Canadian inventions and technology coming out in this summer. So take a look for that. If you're interested, give me your email address and I'll happily give you $5 off the price. And then in the fall, I just barely started working on this because of this seminar actually, I'm going to do the ladies' Clean Hands Car Care book to kind of give you a whole bunch more stuff like what we talked about today. So again, give me your email address and I'll put you on the list and I'll let you know when that comes out. All right? And then lastly, if you are going to buy a car or you would like a little bit of personal guidance about whether this mechanic is ripping you off, I've been doing consulting on a lot of different things over the years similar to this, so I thought, why not add this to my repertoire? So if you're going to buy a car, I will give you a half-hour consult to go through choices and prices and your needs and wants and stuff like that. And then 3 hours of on-site visits with you to have my almost expert opinion of looking the car over and go, yeah, this is worth getting a PPI on, or no, run right now, and it's going to be a lot cheaper for us to do that. And so I'll give you 3 hours and up to 3 different car choices once you've narrowed down your picks for $350. I'm not affiliated with any garage, no repair shop, no car dealership. I run pretty much in the other direction from most of these guys, so I have absolutely no interest in sending you to anybody. This is going to be solely my opinion. I'm leaving it to you to figure out where to go. Or if you just want the personal guidance of like, you know what, they're telling me I really need this work done on my car, and they gave me a quote and it's $1,000, I'm happy to come. We'll do a quick little test drive of your car. I'll look at it from my perspective, from an experienced person who's done a lot of repairs and had a lot of issues, and tell you, yeah, they're selling you a bill of goods, blowing smoke up your ear, and help you out with some personal advice on that note. For $37, that's about what, a quarter of the going rate at most dealerships. So I think that's fairly valuable advice. If you're interested, my email and phone number were there somewhere. Write that down, hopefully at the top of your page, and if you need some help, I'm happy to come and give you a hand with stuff like that. How many people would like to go and see how to do some of this stuff on their own car? I'm only going to pick 1 or 2 volunteers. We're not going to do everybody. But we'll go take a quick look and I'll show you what we're talking about in the real world. Never mind the video stuff. This is for classroom. Let's go do the real stuff. And then we got to get out of here really quick. So if you can grab your